Hey everybody, Howard here with Synchronicity 2 by the Police, of course. And as many of you who watch the channel on a regular basis know, I'm a big Andy Summers fan. And I've done a lot of police tutorials here on the channel, but I haven't done this one. So a little shout out to Colin on this one. How you doing, Colin? He's a student of mine. He takes private lessons with me remotely, and he wanted to learn this one the other day, and we did it. And he thought it might make a great tutorial, so here we are, okay? So first things first, I am in standard tuning. I'm on my telly, and I'm running through the Sonic Cake Sonic bar, so I'm using chorus, delay, reverb, the works, right? Just to make that great Andy Summers sound happen, okay? So let's dive right in. You saw a bit of the performance, a bit of the run through, so let's talk about how this whole thing happens, okay? So the first thing we have is that intro, and that intro is based on an F sharp minor 7th chord. Okay, but there's a second guitar in there, which I'll cover, okay? I'll talk about that because that's what makes it sound so full on the recording. But live, Andy would just play this. Right? So what he's doing there, you've got the F sharp minor 7th chord, which you can see on the screen, but as you can see on the tab, we're placing our pinky on the 12th fret on the B string, hit the root note of the chord, then the next 3 strings, and then pull off your pinky so that you sound the 10th fret on the B string. Like that. And the rhythm is... that on the tab, and you can also hear that I'm muting that A string slightly so things don't get too messy. Now, I mentioned the second guitar being in there, and there definitely is one that you can hear in the recording, and it is playing this. So what I'm doing there is I'm fretting the 9th fret on the D string and pulling off to the 7th, and then playing the 9th fret on the A string. So that's an octave away from the... So he's got that part kind of doubled up, and it sounds really great. Right along with... Now eventually after Sting comes in with the vocal, you break away, right? And this is where he breaks the rhythm. Okay, so he doesn't play that last. It is replaced by that intro lick. Or those intro 2 notes, okay? So this is how you do it. And then you're in, right? So once you're in, this is what we play. We want to play that 4 times, okay? So it's pretty easy to play, and I know you can see it on the tab, but here it is slowly. And I think alternate picking is best on that part right there. And of course that phrase starts on the upbeat, so I started with an upstroke, followed by 2 upstrokes because both of those are on the upbeat as well. So it's... And you're in there. And like I say, you play that part 4 times. And you can slide into those notes once in a while. That sounds really cool. You can catch Andy doing that sometimes live. Sounds really cool, right? So anyway, after you play that 4 times, we break out into these chords. We've got an A major, an inverted D chord over A, and then what you can look at as a B7, also with an A in the bass, and back to the D chord. And you can clearly hear on the recording when you watch him play it live that he's sort of chiming the chords, if you will, with the vocal. He hits the chord, and then we play the G and the D strings. He's not always a perfect science on that. You know, sometimes he hits other strings as well. But that rhythm is definitely in there, and you can hear it on the studio recording as well as live. Right? So you play that whole thing twice. So a special note on that one. The first chord, the A chord, is on the downbeat. And then all the rest of the chords, including the A chord, the second time you play it around, is on the upbeat. Right, so we have... break out into this. And we play that 3 times, all right? So obviously there's some good palm muting going on back here, and you can see on the tab what's being played, but I'll play it nice and slowly for you. Also, if you watch Andy play it live, he does it with all downstrokes, and that makes sense because it gives it more of a drive, right? So here we go. Now what's nice to do right there is jump off of that riff and hit that open E string. That sounds really great, right? So if I was to play that slowly, you would jump off the riff right at the tail end. So each of those notes gets played twice, right? Each time, but on that very last one, you jump off, right? You only play that note 1 time and hit that open E string. And then we head to this simple bar shape. You can see it on the tab, but I'm barring at the 7th fret across the D, the G, and the B strings, and then moving to the 9th fret. And once again, I do that with all downstrokes, but if you want to do alternate strokes, you know, that sounds pretty cool too, but I like that driving sound. So we have... And then we are into an ultra cool part, very Andy Summers, very Police, okay? It's tabbed out for you, but I'm going to play it nice and slow. Main riff, okay? So here it is up to tempo. part right there, you can just form a full E chord shape if it's more comfortable for you. And you can see on the tab how it connects with that. Now, they go back in and go through all of that again, minus the intro, of course. But at the tail end of that, they're not going to jump back into, they're going to go into the instrumental break section, right? So it's going to be played like this. So he's going to finish it, he's going to complete it. And we'll talk about this a little bit. They kind of go crazy over this. This is basically an A sus2 with an F sharp in the bass. So what happens here is Andy just goes absolutely nuts, right? And it's never the same. You don't want to try to copy exactly what he did in the studio. The idea is it's just supposed to be chaos, if you know what I mean, right? And live, he would just go crazy, right? He would just, lots of delay, thick chorusing, and he's just scraping the strings. Doing things like that, hitting harmonics. So just get as crazy as you want to get it, all right? And then finally at the tail end of that, they come back with the and you run through everything again, okay? But when we get to those great chords at the end, the part I was just covering, they extend it, and this is how they extend it. See that on the tab, but here it is nice and slow. And once again, for those first three chords, you can just play a full E major chord shape if that's more comfortable. Loop that around as they fade out, right? But then Andy adds that second guitar. Again, hitting those jabs on the upbeat, okay? And he's clearly using the full shapes right there. So there you go with Synchronicity 2 from the Police, from the fabulous Andy Summers. And I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson, and I will definitely see you in the next one. But in the meantime, if you're enjoying the channel and you would like to support it, simply become a member of 24/7 Guitar. For a penny shy, as I like to say, of $5 a month, you'll have access to exclusive videos in the members only section. And you can also request printable tabs of the various lessons, okay? These are the original bitmap plates used in the tutorials, and you can easily convert them to PDF or whatever format you might like to print them, okay? So that's about it for today, guys, and I shall see you in the next video.